All right, let's get this started. Let's see if this actually works. Good afternoon, everybody. Mayong hapon. Today is April 30th, 2019, the first day of the rest of our lives. And yes, as you can see by the video title, I have been back in America for 21 days now, 3 weeks. Yeah, got about another week before I head back. Got to go to San Francisco, the People's Republic of San Francisco, and then go to Shanghai. And hopefully this time not get shanghaied like it happened last time. Let's please not have a repeat of that last misadventure. I just set up OBS on this. The stream health isn't looking that good though. It's not looking that good. It's showing the yellow line, which isn't a good sign, and I'm supposed to be on American internet? What's wrong? I must have set up my OBS wrong. If anybody hears me, tell me how the chat looks and how it sounds, if it's buffering, because if it's buffering and stuff, I'll just shut this operation down. Go check my OBS settings and then try again. I got it set on 1920. 1080p might be a little too much for the internet. Yeah, it's still showing yellow bar. Yeah, so if somebody is watching this and they have nothing else to do, if they could let me know. Hello, Mr. Mike It Man. Hello, Titas. Hello, Timothy White. Hello, Pennsylvania Trucker. Hello from France, Alfred Steinacker. Timothy White says, looks good here. All right, so I'll just ignore YouTube with its yellow warning bar and just drive on. All right, everything is good. Yeah, so about a week I'll be heading back to the Philippines. I've had a great time here with family. Spent the time with my family, with my mom and dad. They're wonderful people. And every time I leave, I'm reminded of just how much I'm going to miss them. And every time I come back, I'm reminded of how much I really didn't appreciate who they were and what they did and all the sacrifices they made for me through all those years, and what an ungrateful little bastard I was. And it's just good to be here, and it's good to spend some time with them, and it's good to be in America. Also, speaking of family, I'm a grandfather. Yep, once again, I am a grandfather. Angel had a litter of puppies. Yes, Jim said puppies and rainbows. And that absolutely. Angel just had a litter of puppies about 3 weeks ago. Actually, like right after I left. I guess she was upset. She only had 4 this time. The first time she had puppies, it was 7. This time she had 4. 3 of them are white, just like her, and one of them is kind of like piebald. He's different colors. And I guess he's got black eyes. And I've seen him on video, so yeah, he's got black eyes. And he must be the daughter of Goofy Dog next door, who also has black eyes. Well, congratulations. Thank you, Pennsylvania Trucker. Says congratulations. I would smoke a cigar, but I quit smoking about 3 weeks ago as soon as I got to the United States, and I haven't had any cigarettes since. I've been using the patch. I'm down to 14 milligrams right now. And I'm doing some vaping. Vaping is whatever. And hopefully this time when I go back to the Philippines, I won't pick up that dirty, filthy habit once again. Like Mark Twain said, quitting smoking is easy. I've done it 1,000 million times. So yeah, I'm also getting my Balikbayan box together. My Uyab keeps correcting me on my pronunciation. Also miss my Uyab, my little Monchichi. I'll be there soon. I guess she moved in while I was gone. I guess she moved the whole tribe in. So that should be interesting coming back. What was I babbling about? I totally forgot. So yeah, that's basically the Balikbayan box is together. I got to seal that up, and I got to bring it down to First Asian tomorrow down in Leesburg and send that off. I think it's like $75. This year he didn't charge me for the box. I guess last year or the time before, he charged me like $5 each for the boxes. It's no big deal. I'm sending down, I got a bunch of books for the kids. I got 50 kids books for the kids, for Nikki, Nano, Badai, Yui, all of them, because they're going to be expecting Pasalubong. I got some, I don't know if anybody's tried these wasabi dried peas, but I've loved these for like 20 years, because in Boston I used to go to the Chinese markets and they used to have the wasabi peas, and I used to get those. They're delicious, they're low calorie, and they're wasabi, so they're nice and spicy. And I've been woofing those down, and I put a 5-pound bag in the Balikbayan box. I also got a printer this year. I got a Canon M232W laser printer, and that's stuffed in there. Hopefully that will survive the trip, because I need a printer. I'm tired of bringing flash drives down to the local print place and getting in line with all the crazy college kids, because I'm a grumpy old man now. So I like to have my immediate needs fulfilled immediately. I need that. So I got that. I got to bring that down to Leesburg, and it's a big box. It's like over 100 pounds, jam full of stuff. I don't know if anybody's had any experience with golfer's elbow, but I now have it in both elbows. My elbows now are basically toast, and it sucks, and I got to deal with it. James Westbury says, hey, I'm here in Florida too. Florida right this time of year is gorgeous. Today was like 84 degrees. Humidity was hovering around 48%. It's absolutely stunning. You go out to the sun, it's just like, Whereas in the Philippines right now, because it's summertime, you're avoiding the summer as much as possible. And James says he's hoping to be back in the Philippines by September. September is a good time to come, yes, even though it's the burrs. September, October, November, December, and the storms are coming in. Depending on where you are in the Philippines, they usually hook north towards Luzon and Leyte, and that's when Amihan usually starts, and the weather starts getting nicer with the trade winds coming in. Good time. Thank you, James. Pennsylvania Trucker says, I'll smoke a Marlboro for you. Yeah, that's cool. I don't feel it right now, but I know when I go back and I go and I hang out with certain people at certain places, I'm going to have that urge, and that's when it's going to hit me. So I got to make sure I stay away from those certain people and those certain places. David, Bill, Andy, and all that. Also, good day, mate. Actually, that's Australian, right? Top of the morning, Governor. I found out I'm British. Yes, I took the 23andMe test, the ancestry test, and the health test. It was $200, and it was money well spent because I'm adopted. So I don't know my medical background, my medical history. I'm always getting questioned when I'm at doctors when they're asking medical history. And I don't have the answers for them, like about cancer and glaucoma, all kinds of questions, diabetes. So finally I broke down. I did the 23andMe. You got to spit in this container. It's about the size of this. And you got to spit and fill that up. And it was actually a challenge to fill it up with spit when I first got here, because the transition from the super humid, moist air to the super dry Florida air at this time of year, I was like literally parched all the time. I was drinking water and soda, everything, constantly. So it's hard to fill up the spit cup. Again, first world problems, people, right? So I got it filled up. I sent it in, and it only took about 3 weeks for the results to come in. And I've always thought I was Irish, and my family's Irish, and I guess they were hoping I was Irish. And I guess the worst thing, if you're Irish and you find out an adopted family member is English, that's like the worst thing that can possibly happen, you know, because of the troubles. So it's just been weird all this time thinking I'm Irish and finding out I'm English. And so it's the vast majority is English, British, and also a little bit of German thrown in. So I'm basically British and German. For some reason, they note that in Germany, I'm from the Baden, the southwest corner, and they don't say where in Britain I'm from. But that's why I probably love BBC all my life. Paul Dean says, you still a twinkle toe lefty? Yeah, man, I'm still a lefty, man. I'm a liberal. I'm a socialist. Speaking of socialism, the Philippines is descending into socialist anarchy. President Duterte, now PhilHealth is free. PhilHealth is free for Filipinos, of course not us because we're capitalists. It's still $340 for American, or not Americans, but any type of foreigner. Because I keep forgetting the vast majority of foreigners in the Philippines are actually Asian. But for Filipinos, it's free. Also, they got free college. They got this free college thing going on, free health insurance. And now, from what I'm hearing, there's free hospital stays. So if a Filipino gets hospitalized, he doesn't have to pay for that. So it's just a matter of time before all that oil money runs out in the Philippines and it descends into anarchy, just like Venezuela. What was that? Philippines doesn't have oil. Okay. It's just a matter of time before the copra industry collapses and they run out of coconuts. And who's going to pay for all this stuff? Pennsylvania Truck says, just sitting at a Love's getting a tire replaced. Okay, he's getting a tire replaced at Roberto. Oh. Did Senator Warren give me a promo code? I love Senator Warren, man. And she's from my home state, but she's from Boston. Roberto, the brown American expat. Hey, what's up? A Pennsylvania Trucker, what's been happening, brother? Is that Roberto from the PV stuff? Anthony McInview says, hello from Manchester, England. Hello. And that doesn't sound English. That sounds Irish. Is it Mac or Mick? Mick. I can't tell. So yeah, I'm British now. So I don't want any trouble with all you Irish people. Basically, don't want that. Oh, also, I'm not, and even though I'm British, I guess I don't feel British, but I'm allegedly British. We went to Longhorn Steakhouse today, and I know people are going to shit on Longhorn Steakhouse, but I don't eat steak except for one time a year. It's when I'm visiting the U.S., and it's always at Longhorn Steakhouse. And I always get a medium rare renegade steak or whatever it is. It's not that expensive. It's like $16, $17, 8 ounces. But man, let me tell you something. That is some very fine meat. That is some really good meat. That was a really good steak. And broccoli. It comes with broccoli. And, I don't eat much broccoli in the Philippines. So steak is freaking good, even though I only eat it one time a year. I'm a pork and chicken kind of guy. I like my pig. I like my chicken. I like my clucks. Yeah. I miss chicks to go. So I did the 23andMe. I'm missing my vampire girl. Keep watching the house. Make sure Angel doesn't cause any more trouble. I've also been, this whole time here, I've been feverishly working on the book. Hold on. Oscar says, I also did 23andMe and found out I'm 13% sub-Saharan African. LOL, heading back to Bareilly and the wife from Florida at the end of May. I'll miss Publix and Costco. Yeah, man, Publix is the shit, yo. Yeah, 23andMe was cool because they give you the full breakdown. And I actually did a video of me going through my results the first time because I wanted to catch it on video. Not for you people because I don't really care about you, but for myself, for posterity. And I also found out that I got connected to a first cousin and a second cousin. I messaged both of them. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm hoping, to reconnect with my to connect or whatever at some level with my biological family. Now, the fact is my father is probably dead because when I was conceived, he was in his 50s. This is all we know about my biological parents. He was in his 50s. And my mother was 22. She was a college student, or she was 21 or 22. She was a college student, and he was a businessman. And I was born, where was I born? I was born on a naval base. And that was so her father was probably in the Navy. I always thought that my father was in the Navy, but I guess he was some businessman. And there was quite the age difference disparity there. My father was in his 50s, and she was 22. He was obviously a sexpat. And that was very disturbing to find out. And but it'll be more interesting to find out if my first cousin or second cousin, if they know of anything about my mother or father, and find out anything on that. Nate says, I live in Mass and my brother married a girl from Mindanao and province outside Davao. All right. Alfred Steinecker says, first cousin, second cousin, etc. You've been too long in the Philippines, really. Yeah, everybody's just cousins there. Casey, how much are the more modest hotels, pension houses in Duma if you pay by the month? I'm not sure. I never dug into that. I know you can get decent places for like $18 a day, so you probably get a deal on top of that. What's best to do if you're going to Dumaguete, and I know I plug them all the time, and I don't get any recompense for it or any remuneration, is Hermogina. Hermogina, you look up Hermogina, HERMOGINA on Facebook. You get in contact with them. They do month to month. It's just to the south of Robinson's Mall. It's very safe. It's very secure. There's a lot of foreigners living there, a lot of Asians, with families and stuff. And I've known a number of people that have stayed there and they loved it. It's not that expensive. They got studios, small studios, and they got 2 bedrooms. And I know some people staying there now, and they love it. And it's months and months, so there's no lease or anything, and it's furnished. Oh yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying the photographs that I took. These are mostly from Dipolog, the last trip down to Dipolog, and there's some from the Dumaguete Boulevard, like the silhouette photos against the sunrise. We're on Dumaguete. Chad B Photography says, Ned, when are you to branch out and spend the $100 for a flight to some different countries? I think you'd like Thailand. I just did a month there and a month in Saigon. I'm going to do a year. No, I'm going to do a year. Going to Vietnam or Malaysia this year. Going to try to go someplace every year. Might as well, because we're down here in the hub, and the work that I got right now is portable. So things have changed up a bit here. No problem, Nate. Yeah. Got your back there. Got your back. Also, I just did a video on some of the things. I spent like $5,000 this year on stuff to send back to the Philippines and bring back to the Philippines. I'm not going to get into the details exactly of what it was, but it was a lot of stuff. That's why I had to do the Balikbayan this year. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I think the steak is going to my brain, just slowing things down. You get the blood flow, and then you got all that red meat flowing through and just clogging everything up. Something's going on up there. But like I said, I've been working on the book. I didn't realize a couple things. I haven't done real heavy editing of that book, Chasing Your Philippine Dream: An Expat's Guide to the Philippines. I haven't done real heavy editing on it since I don't know, 2016. And I didn't realize how verbose I am, how wordy I am, how I like to use actually and usually way too much. So I actually had to get rid of all the usually and actuallys and do a lot of heavy editing on that. And I'm going to be putting it up on Amazon soon. And if you haven't got the book and you're thinking about retiring, living, working, studying, going to school, doing anything in the Philippines, you might want to consider getting the book. It's got a 100% money back guarantee. The link is down in the video description box. And if you don't like it, if you're not completely satisfied, just send me an email and I might get the email and give you your money back. I think it's like $10.99, and it's up for sale on the sells.com site. Wow, hold on. There's a lot of people. Yeah, Chad B Photography. Saigon is great. What's his name? Henry's up in Ho Chi Minh City, and all he's been posting on his Facebook and all that stuff is food. And Vietnamese is my favorite food, so I'm definitely getting up there. I'm just waiting for somebody. Somebody has to get their passport so we can go. Roberto the Brown American says, Expat says, Ned, why don't you get into feeding dogs along with the spaghetti ritual for the local barangay? Serious question. I don't know. I just never thought of feeding dogs. I'll tell you, you got to give these ascals, these asong caliers, these aspins, these ascal pinoy, you got to give them credit. Because they're survivors, man. They'll go out there and they'll do some hunting, they'll do some gathering. I also found out that they like to eat geckos. They're like the #1 enemy of geckos in the Philippines. And, geckos are protein and stuff. They also eat everything. The only thing Angel won't eat is carrots. Although she sometimes eats carrots, and lettuce. She'll eat everything else. Vegetables, fruits, she eats bananas, everything. Bread, absolutely loves bread. She'll do cartwheels for bread and skyflakes. Chad B says Malaysia was kind of disappointing, to be honest, so I'd skip it. Yeah, I want to go to that islands on the southwest coast where Anthony Bourdain said it was the best food in the entire world. Penang? Is that Penang? I'm not sure. Steve Fraser says, how long are you stateside for? I'm going to be here for about another week. And a couple more nights out with pizza. and then I'll be heading back to the Philippines until next year. I like to come back every year. I stay for about 29 days, and just to be able to breathe some clean air, bond with my family. It's amazing the difference in air quality. And again, I don't want to come across like I'm shitting on the Philippines, man. But every day, every morning here, I go for a walk because that's one thing you can do here because the roads are kind of big and people don't drive like lunatics. You can actually take walks along the roads. And they have sidewalks that people don't drive on. And just going out and the difference in the air quality. Being able to see, I mean, there's no haze, there's no smog, there's no smoke, there's no burning stuff. It's just a totally different experience. It's really cool. And I know they have laws against burning stuff, especially around city areas and stuff, because they do have trash pickup, but that's just stuff's just not reinforced. But it's a big difference. Luis Hernandez says, good morning from New York. Soon I will be in the Philippines to Zamboanga City. Zamboanga City, the city of flowers. That's what they call, that's the Zamboanga City's nickname. They also call it the city of bombs. From what I hear, there's not a whole lot of foreigners down there. But I also know two people that have recently gone there, Andy and Tom, and they report that there's a very beautiful woman there. But that's also a big Muslim area outside of the city proper area itself. Can get a little sketchy from what I hear. And if you head further southwest to that little chain of islands, you'll find some really interesting places to go. All right, James D says, James D. I have a woman from Las Pinas, originally Mindanao, a maid since 11 years old in province Manila, then OFW. She's my partner in life. I am the luckiest person in the world, a beautiful person I love eternally. All right, cool. Yeah, Luis Hernandez says, is it safe there? You might want to do a Google search, bud. Just do a Google search. Just type it, is Zamboanga City safe for foreigners? And just, go by what that says. People that live in Mindanao, and there's a lot of foreigners that live in Mindanao, get really upset when people start talking smack about Mindanao. Typically, these are guys living in Siargao, Davao, some of the bigger areas, CDO and that, where there's not a whole lot of kidnappings, beheadings, and all that. So I guess they can say that. Although Davao has had some insurgent attacks against it, and the city was on fire at one point. So they'll tell you, don't listen to all these people that say it's not safe, but the chance, and again, I mean, this stuff, getting kidnapped by some extremists who aren't really doing it for the religious reasons, but are doing it because they want to make millions of dollars, and who can't blame them, man? Capitalism, it's the best, bro. But the chance of getting kidnapped, kept in a hole, without air conditioning, starved, and then ritually beheaded, and not with like a big axe or a big sword, like a two-handed sword, but with like a steak knife, and it takes a very long time. And it's very painful. I wouldn't risk that, man, especially in rural areas in Mindanao. Going out into the sticks where you really stick out, especially for us white foreigners. Asian foreigners, Latino foreigners might get away with a little more. Black foreigners, I'm not sure. Africans, I'm not sure. Because there are negritos in the Philippines, but they're usually very small. They're very small. I wouldn't risk that, man. I forgot his name, but there was that one Australian guy that was kidnapped, and he was badass, and they made him do proof of life videos, and he was always, he was always barking in the face of death and barking in the face of danger, and I respect him for that. And they finally let him go, but that was rough. Nate, you said you've been watching for years and will buy the book. Old Army guy here and started watching when I got out. I wanted to change. Yeah, it's a good book. I've never had anybody ask for their money back. I've never had anybody read it. The only time people have asked for money back, and I think this only happened once or twice, they actually thought it was a real book, like they were getting a physical book, but it's an ebook. And right now it's only in PDF version. There's a Mobi version up, I'm editing it out, and I'm gonna take out a lot of the photos for the Mobi version because it's hard to see it like on a Paperwhite or the Kindle readers. On the Fire HD, you can see it because it's in color, but I'll be changing that. Mr. C said, I would be more afraid of a place where there are many expats. Sugar attracts flies. Yeah, you would think that, that where there's a lot of foreigners, it would be a high value target area, a target rich environment. But I haven't seen that. It's usually like the priest down in the Piton, that they snatched up that Italian guy. It's people in Palawan on boats. They like to do that. Guys on sailboats and stuff, they'll just cruise out, at 3 o'clock in the morning, board the boat, and snatch them up. Nate says Mobi is kind of terrible. I love my Paperwhite. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Matter of fact, that's my favorite possession. I just did a video on that. And of the 4 things that I bought this year that I love the most, and the 8th generation Kindle Paperwhite is actually waterproof, so I guess you can read it underwater if you want. And it comes in 8 gig and 32 gigabyte versions. I have 4 gig, and I think mine can hold like 4,000 books or something. I don't know. I love my Paperwhite. That's cool, man. Just don't be hating on me. We'll be rolling around in the... Casey says sugar doesn't attract flies. Shit does, though. Yeah, what does sugar attract? Steve Frazier says, taking my father to Vietnam for his retirement trip. Besides Hanoi and Saigon, where should I take the old dude? I think that's Chatty he's speaking with. He's chatting with Chatty. Nan Doherty says, I love Malaysia, especially the food. Yeah, Boston has some Malaysian restaurants, and it was quite good, man. It's quite good. It's quite good. Is there anything like that in Duma? Chatty says Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia was kind of disappointing. I'd be skip it. I don't know what you're referring to, KC, but I think down in the video description box, yeah, I still have the article I wrote why I love Dumaguete, and I really do. Dumaguete is basically my home now. When I say home, when I'm going home, I usually mean that, although home is where my heart is, and that's right here, my mom and dad. But it's not too big, it's not too small, it's not too congested, although in rush hour for Dumaguete, it can get a little crazy. It's a great transportation hub to other areas in the Philippines, and Cebu is not too far. You just jump on a ferry, you get to Cebu overnight. Not a big deal. It's got a lot of good restaurants now. We got Lord Byron's, we got Easteria for the pizza. And if you're in Dumaguete and you haven't been to Easteria, you got to look it up. Esturya, and I think it's closed on Sundays. And just go there, get the pepperoni pizza. You don't have to tell them Ned sent you. Just order a pepperoni pizza and let me know what you think. Say hi to Marco. That's a real Italian they imported to make the food. It's very good. Jen Travel says, are you enjoying the Philippines? I don't know if that's to me. Yeah, I really enjoy living in the Philippines. It's changed my life, and I got to do a video on that at some point. Bud Brown did a video on how the Philippines has changed him, and at some point I got to do one that how it's changed me. Somebody said, James Danielson says, I saw your Lenovo 440 for $190 on Newegg. Don't get the 440, get the 440S. That's the smaller, thinner one. That's the one I'm using right now. I actually have 11 of them. So if you need a T440S, it's a smaller one. It's magnesium and carbon fiber. It's the one that's mil-spec rated. It's a lot of businesses use them, and they trade them in like every 2 years, and you can get them dirt cheap on eBay. And usually, I mean, you can pick up a lot, like buy 4 of them for like $400. So that's basically $100. And a lot of them have the SSDs already in there. They got the i5, i7 processors. They got the IPS screens. I mean, they're freaking nice little laptops. And they're perfect for the Philippines because, again, they're mil-spec. They got that IP something rating. It's not that super high like a sealed phone. And they're just great. They're easy to work on, too. I was ripping them apart and upgrading some SSDs in them not too long ago. Great little computers, laptops. John says, how cheap can you live in the Philippines? Wow, congratulations, John. Somebody hit the bell. You just asked the most over-asked question there is in the Philippines expat atmosphere environment zone. I spend about $1,000 a month, US. Your mileage might vary if you like steak and you need like Western amenities and you want to live a completely 100% Western. If I wanted to replicate this lifestyle in the Philippines, it would probably be pretty expensive. Central air conditioning and all that, it's going to add up. Electricity is twice as expensive. It's too much to get into. Buy my book. Go down the video description box and buy my book. Big Kev is here. Okay, it's time to go. Time to go. And Uncle Ruckus. Yeah. How do you know you spent too much time on the internet? Big Kev and Uncle Ruckus show up. Next thing, that little kangaroo guy. Whatever happened to that strange guy from Thailand who was haunting me for a while? I'm just kidding, by the way, Big Kev and Uncle Ruckus. Just kidding. Mr. C says, my wife is from Davao, super clean, super safe city, expecting our baby in November. Hopefully she will deliver here in USA, but we will be moving back to Davao. I've been with you for a long time, Ned. All right, Mr. C, thank you for that. Mike Harrelson says, you are pretty well right about, of course I'm right, questioning my wisdom, about Mindanao because I have a dear friend in Cabababaran, Cabababaran, and it is quite dangerous there, but only after dark. But if you own a business, you will end up paying you know who. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't live out in the sticks in Mindanao. Living out in the sticks, at some point, if I have a family, I wouldn't mind living a little bit out, maybe have a farm, grow some broccoli and cauliflower. I was actually talking about this today. That'd be cool. Shehan Alouis says, hey Ned, saying what's up from New York. My fiance and I are planning to visit Cebu, Dumaguete, etc. We will be coming from Cavite City. It will be nice to see some of you guys down there. Yeah, I'm usually out and about. Steve Stanel says, are all Filipinas always so freaking needy or just the ones I've come across? It's probably just you, man. It's probably just you. Uncle Ruckus says he loves me. That's cool. James D says he lives on $450 a month. Were you the one asking how much does it cost to live here? Yeah, if you're on a fixed income of $450 a month, no way, man. You could. I wouldn't. Also, you gotta be, what happens if there's a medical emergency? What happens if you have to get back? No. Uncle Ruckus says, Dipolog, nice place, great boulevard, and better traffic than Duma. Yeah. That boulevard there is really nice, and whoever's doing the zoning, the board of directors or whatever for the city councilors, they're doing a fantastic job on the zoning because everything they're putting up there is nice. It's classy. It's not like Bogarts. It's not like they're putting up nasty, grimy dive bars on the boulevard down there. Oh, James D says, no, you're answering him. Okay, so he's answering the other guy. Yeah, and this is something, and again, James D, I'm not questioning you or what you're doing. You're living your life. You're doing your thing. But to live on $450 a month, that's super, super tight, and I wouldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't have my air conditioning. I wouldn't be able to use all the things that I like using to be comfortable. I wouldn't be going out to eat as much, and I'd be having to rely on local food more, and I don't know about that. But thank you, James. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd say, this guy's spending like $4,000 a month. They got, family obligations and stuff. This guy's spending less. I don't. If you go and plus, I mean, if you go out drinking all the time, if you go bar hopping, if you go to the clubs, if you're partaking in the local GRO trade, the guest relation officer trade, involving yourself in that, that's going to add up fast. When you see these guys come through, the 2-week millionaires, guys will come down for 2 weeks and they'll spend a whole lot of money on a whole lot of different things that I don't usually spend money on, and yeah. Yeah, Alfred Steinecker says $450 a month. Rice and Fish, Buddy Munoz says $450, ugly girlfriend. Bruce Sundar says, talk about coincidence, my wife is from Dipolog and we now live in Central Florida. Good evening to you. Good evening to you, sir. And enjoying Central Florida right now, although it's getting dark out. And it's weird being in America because it gets darker so much later here, because usually like in the Philippines 6:30 it's dark, or getting real dark. Bert, hello from Canada. Buddy Munoz says rice and tap water for $450. Yeah, man, not only do you got to have some decent income coming in, but you got to have an emergency reserve in case it does go to shit. Because I was looking up the cost of a medical evacuation. If you have to be medically evacuated, and it's not just I'm sick, so I got on a plane. You have to be assisted through that whole process. That can be like $700,000, $800,000 US. That's why they got traveling insurance, and a lot of those will cover that, but it can be very expensive. Jake Miller says, cheers from Maine. I myself am a maniac. Yeah. Ottawa, Canada is in the house. Uncle Ruckus says a decent apartment costs $300 to $400 a month. Yeah, if you're in the city proper area and you want a nice place, sure. Because $400 that's about 20,000 pesos a month. Dumaguete's been going up. Since I first moved here, and I haven't been here that long, about 5.5 years. But I've been seeing the prices, even like at the places that have been in place for a long time, like Hermogena, or Dumaguete Studio Apartments. When I first went to Dumaguete Studio Apartments, it was like 10,000 pesos a month, which is like $190, $185. And now it's like 18,000, and that's a studio apartment. It's nice, it's clean, but he built the pool and everything, and that's part of it. And also, I guess there's also a motorcycle rental included in that. Yeah, Buddy Munoz says 1,200 is decent. Yeah, 1,200. Yeah, you don't even have to think about it. You just do your thing, and it's hard to spend a lot of money in the Philippines, unless again if you're involved with the GRO economy, it's going to cost you. But Phil's to Phoenix, PHX. I assume that's Phoenix. The length of summer days was one thing that took your wife had to get used to. Yeah, it is weird. It's weird, and it's so quiet too. There's no dogs barking. There's no roosters. It's weird. Tom Morrow says, if you're spending money for a pretty girlfriend, then don't call her a girlfriend. Call her a prostitute. All right, that's some real words of wisdom there coming from Tom Morrow. And you put a smiley face next to it. Okay. Classy. Yeah, so the revamped book's going to be available soon. If you buy the book, I'm going to send you the updated one anyways. And what I'm going to do is I have the email list of everybody who's purchased the previous iterations of the book, and I'm just going to send the latest one out and try to keep everything updated. I had to change some things because some things have changed in the Philippines. Like before, they didn't have like a 911 number. Now they do. Although if you call it, you get routed through Manila. And with the translations and everything, by the time it gets back, at least they're trying. James D says 6,000 pesos rent. I live in a 4-block apartment, 2 policemen, and something in the other one. Okay, yeah, I mean, you can still find places for like 6,000 pesos. 6,000 pesos, like 115, 110 bucks. Thomas Travers says, what is a GRO? A GRO is a guest relation officer. I don't know if I'm getting that right. I think it's guest relations officer. They're prostitutes, bar girls, that type of thing. Prostitution is legal in the Philippines, but they have guest relations officers. Uncle Ruckus says, best is to lease a house for 25 or 50 years and state that if you die, the lease transfers to a relative. Child, yeah, okay, you can do that. You can find leaseholds in the Philippines that it's not your property, you're just borrowing it. And if something, and I've seen this happen, I saw this happen to somebody I know. They were living up in Luzon. Where is that? West of Angeles, Subic. They were living in Subic, and they had built the house. It was 5 years after they had leased the property. They had built the house, and then the guy came in and said, "Oh no, there's an emergency with the family. There's this issue. I need the property back," and they lost it in the courts. It went on for about 2 years, and they lost the lease, and they lost all that construction material that they had purchased to build the house. Somebody asked me if I guest relation officer. Yeah, that's Uncle Rucker's right. Steinecker, GRO economy. If you're doing the prostitute thing and going out bar hopping and involving yourself, Cebu, Angeles, that type of stuff, it's gonna. When I say expensive, I'm speaking. You got to consider the context. Compared to the United States, if you did that all the time, it would be a lot more expensive than what you could do it for in the Philippines. But the prices are going up. And it's funny, one of the book's authors, I'm not going to say which one, but he's involved with that scene occasionally. He's a pretty interesting guy. He's married, but he and his wife have an understanding. So every now and then he'll bounce up to Angeles and get involved and have some fun and stuff. And he's telling me that the prices have doubled in the last just 4 years, he said. Basically the prices has doubled up there. James D is continuing on with his economics that he's spending. His gas is 100 pesos a month. Electric is 2,000. Cable internet 1,000. Food 6,000. And I eat well: chicken, fish, rice, vegetables every day. Okay. All right. Yeah, it can be done. It can be done, but I wouldn't. No way, man. Not for me. Horses for courses and all that. Let's see. James D. Yeah, I was going to say, so his gas is 400 a month. Tom Morrow says, is it a culture shock going back to America and not seeing people smiling? Absolutely. It's a shocker coming back here and just seeing how fast people are moving, how quickly they're moving. Also, the efficiency. And I'm actually going to do a video. I'm going to see if I can do this live. I'm trying to get a hold of the Philippine embassy because, let's put this on speakerphone. And it's so easy to get.
Hi, you have reached the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. The embassy is now closed.
Oh.
Our regular office hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I'm going to do a video on this tomorrow. Trying to get stuff accomplished in the United States is really easy. You just go or you call and you get it done. I'm trying to call the embassy because I need to know how to get documents legalized, notarized, and then it has to go to the Philippine embassy and they have to check it off, and Secretary of all this shit. So I have some questions for them. And all day you get through to the office that handles that, and it's, sorry, our mailbox is full. Please call again later. All day. And it's just like being back in the Philippines. So it is a culture shock. And also people have gotten big. Really big. Every year they get bigger. It's a nation of Sasquatches. And also this vanity sizing on the clothes. I'm down to a 32 waist. I'm not a 32 waist. I was a 32 waist when I was like 15, 16 years old. And now my waist has shrunk to a 32. It's crazy. And also, now that I know what Filipinos look like, I was at Walgreens. I was picking up a prescription. and there was this woman behind the counter, and she's bouncing back and forth, and she's like handling everything, and she's being super efficient, super fast, getting it done, just to get the epitome of professionalism in the pharmacy assistant business. And I got up to her and I was like, "Excuse me, I hate to be really rude because it's always rude to ask this, but are you Filipina?" She's like, "Yeah, my father." She's American. Her parents are Filipino American. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was just seeing how much, the environment has to do with something, because you don't see people moving like that in the Philippines. But yeah, because it's too hot there. It's too hot, and they don't get paid enough. Bruce Sunder says, by the way, prostitution is not legal in the Philippines and can carry up to life in prison for the trafficking, but enforcement is rare. Yeah, I said that. I said prostitution is legal in the Philippines. It's illegal. La, la, la. Uncle Ruckus says, oh yeah, hell yeah, fat woman full of tats, piercings, vulgar, etc. Philippine is the best. Yeah. Escaping to the Philippines. What's up, Ned? How have you been, big head? I've been good, man. I'm just chilling. I gotta end this live stream. I've been going on for, how long have I been babbling? 45 minutes of listening to me? Unacceptable. Alright, I'm gonna put up that video of my 4 favorite things that I've purchased this year. I tell you, the Sony CH-700, those Bluetooth wireless Bluetooth headphones, amazing. I charged them once when I got here, and I haven't charged them yet. And I've been using them for hours and hours and hours every day. I've been using them when I'm editing. I've been using them walking, all that stuff. All right, so everybody, Big Kev and everybody is chatting back and forth. Anybody heard from PV recently? Or what's that video Freedom Guy? Anybody heard anything from them? Buddy Munoz says $450 a month, fat woman full of tats. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is great. Everybody look in the chat right now. You got Escaping to the Philippines saying, "Sup, Kev? Seeing you've been bad-mouthing me, big head." So when you hear people complaining about the drama on the YouTube expat vlogger scene, this is what they're talking about. I don't know who this Escaping to the Philippines is. I know Big Kev. And Big Kev does have a big head. Big Kev, your head's bigger than mine. You have a huge dome, man. Steve Stanel says, whatever happened to you and your girl here? It didn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. But I have no regrets. No regrets at all. Alfred says, have you ever been tempted to visit AC? No. No. Certain things that don't work for me, if people know what I'm saying, like work for me, and that's one of them. I just look at it and it's just kind of like filled with sadness and despair when I see stuff like that, It's not that I'm any better than it, and I respect those people. They're human beings and they're doing what they have to do to take care of their families, and I respect that, the sacrifices that human beings make to take care of their own never ceases to humble me. But just seeing the interactions and recognizing it for what it is, it just doesn't, Miguel Cruz says, have fun in Florida now. I am absolutely having fun in Florida. Mike Gunn, would you buy or rent in Dumaguete? I'm renting, man. Tom Morrow says, escaping is one of those vulgar and obnoxious vloggers. Okay. Oh, is he the youngish guy who has the really nice house? And he's like on stage? Is that no? Oh, I don't know. Miguel Cruz is your homie? Okay. All right, I don't want to get involved in the drama and stuff. But yeah, it's funny. With all the chismes and the chismosos and chismosas and all the gossips and gossipers, and with Filipinos, and they love to gossip. That's like when you wake up really early and you see the ladies out there on the street sweeping and stuff and talking to each other. That's what they're doing. They're sharing the latest, the cheek of the latest chismes. Foreigners are even worse. Here, because there's some nights I hang out in certain places and you get the foreigners all together and they're just blah, 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 blah. Or they're out, somebody will walk by, and this is the one that bothers me. Somebody will walk by like on the boulevard or something. I'll say, hey, see that guy over there? He's something. He's blah. And it's like, really, dude? You're going to say that about somebody and I don't know him and have you told this to him? Have you confronted him about it? Have you advised him that this is the reputation he's got? It's like, oh, no, no, no. Like, so don't even say things like that. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. All right, everybody, 117 people watching. Thank you for all tuning in. I babbled on a little bit, but I just wanted to say hi. I do got some videos I got to post at some point. It's just nice being able to kick back, focus on the book instead of trying to fragment myself and focus on all kinds of different things, and get the book done. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. And just wrap up this last week in the United States before I have to get on that big bird and head back to the Republic of the Philippines. And I'm hoping to God Shanghai works out this time. Now I know what to do. I know where to go through the biometrics. I know how to deal with immigration. I know where to pick up the baggage. And I know what to do if it's 4 hours late, if the flight lands 4 hours late. I'll just go to my connecting flight, which is China Eastern this time instead of United. And I'll say, hey, my plane just landed. Can you reschedule my flight? And just go with the flow. In the Philippines, it's bahala na. It's, what's that? It's just like whatever. Bahala na, whatever. And I got to embrace that. All right, everybody's talking about their big heads. Thanks for sharing all this information, all that. And I hope you enjoyed the pictures in the back. I think some of the photos came out pretty good. I love my little DSLR. I got a 5500 now. And a lot of the photos, the street photography, you see I'm using a telephoto to snipe people. So most of them are unaware that I'm basically stalking them. All right, everybody, peace out, and I'll see you next time. This is Ned over Philippine Dreams. Keep dreaming and stay safe.